Final Fantasy Surge foils are collapsing. Edge of Eternities is making Slivers go to the moon, appropriately. Join me as we do an analysis of these latest market trends, and we look at the one card setting the market ablaze. Hey, thanks for joining me to go over this market analysis of the latest trends for the latest sets releasing, Edge of Eternities, and Final Fantasy in Magic the Gathering. If you like this video, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell button, do everything to let YouTube know you like this channel and it's worth watching. It can help a little channel like me out more than you know. All right, let's go on to the market analysis. First and foremost, we're going to start with Yuna, Hope of Spira. This is the borderless Surge foil. We're going to start with the cream of the crop here in Final Fantasy. A current price of $231. Seems good, right? Nope, that's a drop of 58.93%. Look at it, off a cliff after May and June. We started the rally, but I do believe the excitement for Edge of Eternities is having money flow away from Final Fantasy and toward Edge of Eternities, and we see prices here as low as $200 flat. So a huge depreciation in value for this card. But this isn't just for Yuna. It's across the board for Surge foils. Kefka, Court Mage, borderless Surge foil, $134.99. Another 66% drop. Absolutely plummeting. This is a larger adjustment than we normally see. Typically, it's a 30 to 40% adjustment after release, which is where I was trying to adjust to here on June 21st at $186. But it continues to plummet. As I said, Edge of Eternities is turning out to be more exciting than anybody anticipated, and I think it's taking more of the money from the singles market from Final Fantasy. This is also true for Cloud, Midgard Mercenary in the Surge foil, $347, one of the top cards in the set. It has seen a 46% retraction since its all-time high of $700, even a greater retraction than this chart indicates, as the high here is only $600. We saw it try to retrace its value to $460 on June 18th, but again, spoiler season picked up for Edge of Eternities, the hype started transferring, and this card has dropped to as low as $347. This is a giant collapse in the most sought-after cards in Final Fantasy, and it doesn't bode well for the next couple of months for Final Fantasy. Over the next year or so, I think these are going nowhere but up, just like Lord of the Rings, but for now, there's giant retractions in the market. This has also affected the best spell slinger in the set, Vivi Ornitier. This is the foil version, $58.43, but there's listings as low as $50, and we see a 47% price retraction since the all-time high of this chart of $99.08, nearly half the value it once was just 1 month ago. Same is true even for regular cards, Nearmint Foil, Buster's Sword. This is a really great artifact from the set, highly sought after. We saw again it tried to retract to the normal sort of dropping point that we see after a set releases in Magic the Gathering, but this one settled all the way at a 43% loss. Why is this happening? Well, I think it's myriad reasons. I think the scalpers are pricing themselves out of the market. I think the all-time high value cards are really the chocobos. They have been going to the moon lately. But when it comes to the rest of the cards, the chase cards that people are actually going to get, adjusting for all probabilities, these cards are plummeting. Why is this happening? Well, it's quite simple. Edge of Eternities has brought a lot of excitement to in-universe Magic the Gathering. Here we are looking at the collector booster display for Edge of Eternities. It just broke $400 at a 60% increase from the previous tracking price of around $300 with the low of $251. That's almost a 50% increase, equal and opposite to what we're seeing in the Surge foil market occurring here for the collector boosters of this in-universe set. Now, why is this happening? It's because spoiler seasons have been great, and this video focuses specifically on what one card has done to the entire Slivers market. Thrumming Hive Pool. This is from Edge of Eternities. It's a 6-cost artifact for 6 colorless, affinity for Slivers. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each Sliver you control. Slivers you control have double strike and haste. At the beginning of your upkeep, create 2 1/1 colorless Sliver creature tokens. This is an incredible spell. The whole strategy for Slivers is to flood the board with as many Slivers as possible and have them get ubiquitous buffs for other Slivers on board, like your Fury Sliver, Gemhide Sliver, all sorts of Slivers that increase the potency of these individual tokens will flood the board and give them the aspects those cards offer. This card has seen a giant price point increase from the beginning. It's still pre-release at 25% growth right now. Not bad, but I think what is most important is what it's done to some of the staples of Slivers that have seen a retraction since the hype of Commander Masters. So first, we're going to look at Sliver Gravemother, the commander that we got from Commander Masters here. This is a Wooburg commander. The legend rule does not apply to Slivers you control, which is incredible when you're trying to make multiples of Slivers. Each Sliver creature in your graveyard has Encore X, where X is its mana value. Encore costs 5. What is Encore, you ask? Well, it's explained here helpfully. Exile this card from the graveyard. For each opponent, create a token copy that attacks that opponent this turn if able. They gain haste. Sacrifice them at the beginning of your next end step. Activate only as a sorcery. I'm going to drop in here one of my favorite deck lists for Sliver Gravemother. It plays incredibly well. It's a little slow, but if you add in token doublers, you have the benefit of all the colors, so Doubling Season, Parallel Lives, Anointed Procession, Ocelot Pride. Whatever your particular flavor of token doubler is, you throw that in here, and if you still have 3 opponents, you're making a ton of slivers. Combine that with a reliable 2 extra slivers per turn, suddenly you got a stew cooking. Sorry, that's bad. We're going to leave it in. Then going to the price point here, we see a 115% increase since Thrumming Hive Pod was announced. This card is now $17 from a previous selling point of $9, and sales have popped up dramatically. There's only 56 sold, but now they're flying off the shelf for the higher price point. Look at this. They were averaging 1 sale per day, and now we have multiple. That's over 10 sales per day there. People are excited about what this card is going to do, and I think people are looking to have this be their commander. Now, an alternative Sliver commander, if you want to get back into Slivers, this is a great time. We have Sliver Hive Lord. This is an excellent commander for a Sliver deck. It is Wooburg. Sliver creatures you control have indestructible. Plain simple, which means when you have Thrumming Hive Pool out every turn, you're making 2 1/1 colorless indestructible slivers that are going to have all the benefits, the pump ups, the toxicity, whatever you want on your slivers, they will have. And guess what? They're indestructible as well. This card has also seen a 60% increase in value since the announcement of this amazing Sliver synergy card. Also seeing huge boosts, 530% in the Lazotep Sliver. This card was from the Commander set that came with Sliver Gravemother. The extended version only came in collector boosters. This is the Lazotep Sliver. This card costs 3 and a black. It's a creature zombie Sliver. Sliver creatures you control have Afflict 2. Whenever a non-token Sliver you control dies, amass Slivers 2. Amass Slivers 2 means you create an amassed army token, very much like amassing orcs from Lord of the Rings, and it will help you increase the size and amount of slivers you have. And if you're playing a token doubler strategy in any of these decks, especially now that we are going to be creating tokens at the end of our turn, you're going to be making 2 armies, or 3 armies, or 4 armies, depending on how many token doublers you have out. I really believe this is going to be an excellent token deck that I'm personally excited to build. Again, this is up 530% over the past couple of days here, an all-time low of $1.44. This card is now $9.14, and it shows no sign of slowing. Look how many sales have been made for this card in just the past couple of days. It's an excellent price for people to buy. Some people even buying at $19.99 for the foil version. The foil version has skyrocketed 474%. If you had this puppy in your collection from your time buying Commander's Masters and it was $2 for the past year, it has now increased by 470% to an all-time high of 20%, 24%. That's an even greater increase. That's almost 1,000% increase in price. This chart tops out at $10. This is actually 1,000% increase. It is selling for $20 a pop. There's one there. There's one for $37, one for $34. An over 1,000% increase on this one card is out of control. That's the power of the hype for Edge of Eternities, and that's the power of a player base that's excited to build decks in-universe in Magic the Gathering. We're seeing similar excitement regardless of treatment for Sliver Gravemother. This one's up 265% here for the regular printing from Commander Masters. Now, moving on to other slivers that have seen a similar spike in price that you might have in your collection. Hatchery Sliver from Commander Masters. This is 1 and a green creature Sliver, has Replicate, 1 and a green. When you cast a spell, copy it for each time you paid his Replicate costs. In a Wooburg deck, you're going to have lots of ways to make mana. You can Replicate multiple times. And again, there's a reason why this one is spiking 50% in value, because people are building token strategies out of this. I think we're going to see a similar boost in token doubler cards as well. Each Sliver spell you cast as Replicate, this Replicate cost is equal to its mana cost, which means you can replicate any of the slivers you want with this. What an incredible way to spread the board out. You combine that with slivers you control not having the legend rule that's provided by Sliver Gravemother, and suddenly some of the most badass broken slivers ever can be replicated on your board, including your commander. The Commander Masters Sliver deck was never cheap, but but it's also seeing an incredible boost in price with the announcement of just this single card. Not to mention Slivers will be present in Edge of Eternities, but I posit to you here, it is this card, Thrumming Hivepool, that's really driving excitement for Slivers generally and for Edge of Eternities. We don't know what other Slivers we're going to get, but I'm sure they're going to slot in nicely. This has seen a 50% increase from tracking at around $140 back in May and June to a giant price spike to $215. I would say this is still an excellent way to build your Sliver deck if you don't have one. Look how many have sold here, all for $100 or more once you add in tax and shipping and handling, with the top end price being around $270. And guess what? There's only 14 listings left for this deck. This is an excellent shell to be able to build your Sliver deck out of, because it comes with many staple Slivers and you're not paying individual shipping and tax on each card if you tried to build this on Card Conduit or some other site. If you wanted to buy each individual single from the Sliver Gravemother commander deck called Sliver Swarm from Commander Masters, you're looking at approximately $119. So we're a little bit more expensive here in order to get the Commander Masters version in the sealed box, but you're also going to get that sample pack. And there's some incredible cards inside Commander Masters that you could pull from that. There's a little extra value there as well. But here are some of the cards that we have here. Look at this. So many Slivers are included within this deck. Staples, ones you've heard of, ones you haven't. This is a way to start building a Sliver deck. And guess what? It includes Hatchery Sliver, which it hasn't adjusted for the price for yet here. So it looks like this is a pretty good deal to buy the Commander PreCon actually in the box still at this time with the prices going the way they are. And honestly, it's the most convenient way for you to be able to have the deck ready to go by the time Edge of Eternities comes out. Let me know in the comments below, are you going to build a Sliver deck? Do you have one that you plan on slotting this new card into? If so, let me know how it plays. I'm excited to hear how it goes. If you like this video, make sure you check out my other videos tracking the markets, like this video right here discussing how Spider-Man might be the next big thing in Magic the Gathering, and this one here just opening some boxes and having fun. Well, thanks again for stopping by. I'm the Nerdy Attorney, and ladies and gentlemen, court is adjourned.